Hey, so I don't know if you remember or not, but we had the golden chain first turn video. I think it was like in January. Here it is, the golden chain first turn. Now I think we're ready to do the second turn of it. So the moisture content back then I think was about 20%. And today we're gonna check it and see what it is. And if it's good, we're gonna go ahead and turn it. So what we got is magically the magic of modern science. We can read moisture in wood. That says 0 to 6%. That says 0. This is saying 9% on the bottom. And here in the thing it says 8%. And in my world, that's good enough. Okay, well, here's what we're looking at. This is the golden chain. It mounted right up, nice and tight. I'm gonna double check it here real quick. And we'll start spinning her up at, we'll spin it up to, we'll probably get it up to 600 or 700. But we'll start it out slow at 200 just to see where we're at, 250. Okay, I'm gonna push the start button. It's going around nice. 600. 600 is pretty good. So I'm gonna stop right there, set up my thing and give it some thought. We're gonna take this hard edge here and make it go away. We'll probably bevel it down so it's a little, goes in. It seems to have come up this way a little bit from the drying process. We got this here. I think we talked about putting some turquoise in there. I think that would look pretty good. But we'll see how much of that goes away in our turning process here. I'm gonna start out with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge.
All right. Oh, it's harder. It's much harder. I don't know if the camera shows it or not, but you can see it change shape. This was very round. And it just changed a little bit. Looking here, kind of like that shape. We're starting to get into this cambium layer. There's a lot of shape changing up here. Yeah, this bark shrank a ton, but it's still on there really firm. So we'll keep cutting away on it. See where we get to. See if we can get this planed out. Might take some thickness out of this up here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe I should put you over on the other side here for a while. Here we go. Oh. Tighten that up. Yeah, let's see. Pretty chunky monkey here. So we're gonna maybe increase the speed a bit. And we got 800. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's all right there. Okay, we're getting to the bark. That inclusion is going to be pretty cool. I'm getting back to the color of the wood now. It's not oxidized. Still getting. I'm going to see if I can use a different. I'm going to use a different tool. See if I can't make it a little smoother cutting. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to move the camera over here and see if you can catch what I'm trying to do. So, what I want to do here, if you can see this line or not, I hope you can, this profile, I've got lots of room here, so I want to use it right here. I want to make this go in. I want to take about another quarter inch or more out of that and have it flare out just about to where it is. Maybe not quite that far, but I want that to blend that way. And then when I cut the inside out, I'm going to cut back to that. But I don't want this to go straight out. I want it to have a sweep out, like an OG type of a bend, a progressive. You can kind of see how this side's going out here, but this part wants to go in and then come back out. So we'll see if we can't get that done. And so I'm looking over here at my cut line as I'm coming up. And as I come out, I'm trying to use less of this edge over here and just more of the tip. I hope you can see that. I'm cutting right here off the tip to rough shape this out because I don't want to expose that much surface area to the flailing pieces. Yeah, all right. So I don't know if you can see the difference from what we had before and what we have now. And I think if you see what I'm seeing, So I brought it up and I curved it down here, but I still want to dig this in. You know, this is kind of curving in and then it's going straight out, but I want it to still swerve out. I want it to be, so I'm going to have to go a little deeper from here to here and get that transition more blended, or okay, I think that's got it. Yep, I think that's getting that's kind of what I was looking for right there. So that there's no straight line in it. Every line turns. You can see it much better here. Yeah, that's acceptable. I'm going with that. I think that's my outside shape. Now I'm going to scrape her down. I got a big catch right there to get that drug out, and I also got a catch right there that I got to get cleaned up. But they're down low at least. We've got this into the bark. That's looking good. Got kind of a soft hollow spot right there. All right, let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. So now I'm going to cut off of this edge. Gently. I just got this on the last time. I don't know if I showed it to you or not. I probably did because I'm kind of proud of it. It's a negative rake carbide. Oh man, that is pretty. This cleaned this up so nice. It's like I'm gonna start sanding it like 150. That is just sweet. Okay, I think we're good. Still got one little sketch right there. I'm gonna try to get that out, and then I'll save it for the sanding side of this thing. Okay, good enough. Yep, looks like it's gone. It's gone. Oh, that's sweetened up a whole bunch. That bark looks good. I got these little rays where the cambium layer cracked from drying. I don't think that that was bound to crack no matter what. There was no getting out of that. So, here's a question for you. Would you fill this with like something yellow to try to match, or would you fill it with something that's completely different? Let me know in the comments what you think. All right, we're going to change around now. I'm going to put you on the other side of the lathe, and we're going to cut the. We're going to go ahead and cut the inside out. Still got lots of room in there, lots of thickness. I'm probably 1.5 inches on the bottom, about 3/4 of an inch there, maybe a little less, 5/8, and pretty thick right here. All right, here we go. Change the tool. I think that's done. What do you think? Yep, I think it's finished. I'm done with it. Let's go have lunch. So here's the 80, and I'm gonna work these ends out. You can't see this, but I can't sand this while it's moving because it'll just beat me to death. So I'm gonna sand this part and push the drill here. And I'm not pushing hard on it. I'm just kind of lightly going on it and letting the sandpaper do the work because I don't want to change the shape of the bowl.
All right, so here we got it. I just pulled this off the lathe. It's sanded to 220 currently. It looks pretty darn good and it feels really smooth. It's pretty hard stuff. So the next thing I want to do is I want to fill this crack, and I think we talked about doing it with turquoise. So the first thing I'm going to do is just fill this up with sawdust, and then I'm going to spray an area. I'm going to spray this side of the bowl with shellac, so that when I put this super glue in there, it doesn't stain this wood. But the reason I fill it up with sawdust is so that I don't get any shellac on the inside wood. And I don't know if that's something that's necessary. It's just something, I want the turquoise to have a good bond. So that's why I'm doing that. So I just fill this cracks up kind of temporarily. Nothing special about it or anything. Just put some sawdust in there. And then I'll take this shellac, just spray shellac, and I'm just going to spray this area right here. It's pretty simple. There. Now I'll let that set up for a while. Okay, so this shellac is tacked up pretty good. I'm going to start pulling out this. I'm going to start pulling out the sawdust that I'd put in there. Maybe it's not tacked up as much as I thought. All right, so I've put a fair amount of turquoise stones inside the blender here. And I'm gonna go ahead and smash these up best I can, and then I'll get them in the bowl here. Something seems like it's going to miss. Oh. Looks like my grinder just bit the dirt. Oh well. We'll have to figure something else out with that. Okay, so the verdict is in on which grinder to use. Not the blade type. It worked really good for making sawdust, but it self-destructed. So the blade came off the end of the motor. So I don't know. We'll have to figure something else out. So I'm going to sift these into this little bowl. I want the finest particles. So one of the viewers suggested making a slurry to fill this up with. So I don't know exactly how to do that. But I think I'm just going to use alcohol, some 91% alcohol, to wipe this to wash this down deep into the particles deep into the groove. into the thing. So I'm gonna start with some larger particles to put in the bottom of it here. Then I'm gonna take some fine particles to put in there. And I know one of the things, I don't want to fill this up so full that it, I don't want it to bulge out the top of this. I want it to stay a little bit shy of the top. Because these particles are so hard to sand. They're so much harder than the wood. Well, maybe not this wood. This is a pretty hard piece of wood. So I'm going to take a little drop of alcohol and I'm going to drip it. I'm just going to put a drop of it right on top of that. Yeah, all I got to do is get it on top of it. There. And that should wash that down in there pretty deep and make this a pretty good fill. I'll let that kind of firm up there for just a second. There, I kind of like that. Now, are we in the picture here? So there, I've filled that up, and now I'm going to let that kind of dry out for just a second, let the alcohol evaporate itself. And while that's happening, I'll fill up this other one. I'm going to have to be real careful not to what am I trying to say? I'm going to be real careful not to interfere with this while I'm filling this one up. So I think a better way to do this might be with an eyedropper or something, or maybe I'll just take and dump some alcohol on this paper napkin and then let it drip. It might be a little easier to control getting the alcohol to go where I want it to go. Well, that's not working at all. That didn't work at all. I should get an eyedropper maybe. A little bit of light stuff on there. I'll just try this way. All right, so we're back on the lathe. It's just set up there for a work platform so I can sand this off. I'm just gonna take this piece of 150 here, kind of knock this stuff down, knock off the big pieces. So we're taking the shellac off and that excess plastic. All right, so this is 180, and I'm just going to sand this area off that we had sanded before. I'm going to get all that shellac off there. Yeah, we're going to use this Yorkshire grit. I've never used this before. Of course, I've heard of it forever, and I tried to get some during COVID, but nothing was available because I think at the time it was imported from London or someplace. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. But anyway, I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how this works. So I guess you do like that, and then it's a rub on. So we'll just rub it on there like that. Oh my, it buffs that right up. Do this in here. This will really show you the color. Boy, that really, man, that brings the color out of that, doesn't it? Let's see how we did here. And we're just gonna peel that away a little bit at a time. All right, we've got this done. We've got the infamous golden chain bowl done. And I don't know what to call this one. We'll have to think about it. You can mention in the comments what you think we should call this. It's pretty. You put a little turquoise in there. And there's the thing. And I talked about filling these cracks in the cambium layer there, and I opted to not fill them at all. I think that was I think that looks good without them filled. That's what I think. You got it marked on the bottom. Opaz Wood Shop. 10th project of 2023. You might notice a little critter in the bottom of that thing. I wonder what that is. Anyway, that's it. That's the golden chain. Second turn. The bowl is, well, I think I had a tape measure around here. I don't know what the size this thing is, and I'm going to guess it's about 8 by 4.5. And yeah, turned out pretty good. If you like the video, I'm going to do this different. I'm not putting music on this video. If you like this video without music, say it in the comments. I'm not saying I'm never going to put music on a video, but we'll try it without music. If you like it, mention it in the comments. The other thing is like and subscribe as usual. Appreciate that very much. And if you want to hit the share button, that'd be great too. I don't know what else to say. Life is short. Do what you like to do. Do what you love.